Hey, what's up everyone? Nick here. Welcome back to the Uncharted Let's Platinum series. We are moving on, as you saw right there, to Chapter 12, heading upriver. And as you can imagine, our objective for this level is to head upriver. That's really all we're doing. So we're back in the jet ski. This is the last jet ski section of the game. And you can see that we're, like it said, we're going upriver. We're fighting against the current. So already... already we have something tough to deal with navigating these waters. You see that it's made even tougher by the fact that there are still some explosive barrels in the water with us, which you don't want to run into, because as you can imagine, that would be somewhat unpleasant, or at least that's what I would think. So you kind of got two challenges here: navigating the water, navigating the barrels. And then to top it all off, you got guys here. Now, one thing is you'll notice that you can quick fire. So by pressing R1, or rather spamming R1, you can have Elena just shoot like crazy, and she has infinite ammo. So that's more or less kind of the strategy you want to take for the most part. Is like as you're going up the river, you basically just want to always be shooting, but as you see right there, you still have to know the map kind of, because I just turned that corner and there was a barrel right in front of me. Had I still been shooting, I would have shot the barrel, it would have exploded right in front of me, and we would have had a bad time. So you got to be careful. But then as you can see, when you come to a big clearing like this, there are a number of enemies firing at me right now. I'm probably going to die because I did this, I did it incorrectly. See, so I already messed up. It's not easy. It's not necessarily easy. This is another level, as much as I love this game, this is another kind of section that I think is a bit ridiculous. But you can see that death, I'll admit, that death was mostly my fault. I got too hasty, and I just rode out without a care in the world. You could see, so the way I did it before, I had 4 enemies shooting at me, whereas right there, when I was just a bit more careful, I only had 2 enemies shooting at me. So that was my fault, Someone had pointed out, back when I did my Evil Within Let's Platinum series, they had said, "Hey Nick, I love your videos, but could you maybe not," and they said it very politely, and you'll have to forgive me, I forget the name of the person who commented this, but I actually really appreciated the comment. They basically said, "Hey Nick," this was when I was playing Evil Within on Akumu mode, and they said, "Hey Nick, like, I really am enjoying the series, I really do love this, but there is one thing I would say, and that is, can you not complain about the mechanics of the game so much?" They were saying that, it's nice to hear me talk about the mechanics, and it's nice to see me come up with ways, to beat the mechanics, but it gets a little old just hearing me complain about the mechanics over and over again. And I definitely understand that. I didn't get mad at this comment or anything. On the contrary, I actually really appreciated that comment because, one, I've said this a number. There's a guy shooting at me with a grenade launcher, and I'm not sure where he is. He's probably gonna get me. I don't see it. Oh, that was very close. All right, so I'm in a tough spot here. I don't see the guy with the grenade. Oh, there he is. Okay. So I should be able to... Okay, that was close. There's a TNT right there. Oh my gosh. This, it's hard to navigate these waters. Oh, jeez. Okay, so I'm afraid I messed up again. Yeah, I did. I forgot there was enemies there. So let me pause my story because I can already sense that I'm getting a bit frustrated with this. There's just, I think this is one of those spots where it's better to quick fire. I'm not sure. Might as well try a couple different things, why not? I'm kind of upset that it started me way back here. That seems a bit, oh jeez. Good thing I stopped. Okay, let's do this a bit more, let's just do this a bit more, patiently. So here you could see this guy. let's make sure we kill him before even going up. And of course, as I said, we're going upriver, which makes it all the more annoying because you only have a limited time where you can actually hit this guy. I can't even tell if my bullets are, and I'm gonna get, oh, I thought that was gonna kill me. Okay, so I can't even tell if I'm hitting him. I don't remember this level being that challenging, even on harder difficulty, so the fact that I've already died once kind of, or actually twice rather, kind of has me a bit upset, hurt my ego a little bit. Okay, so, but here we go. We know how to fix it, right? We live and we learn. So, let's hide behind this rock. Gosh, that's so annoying. You just can't do anything. You have so little time before you're just sent back down river. Like this guy up, oh my gosh, this, like I said, I'm a bit surprised right now. I honestly do not remember ever having trouble with this, and right now for one reason or another I can't hit this guy, and this is kind of embarrassing. Okay, so there's guy number 1, there's guy number 2. That was not good. Alright, so there's a guy with the grenade launcher. I think usually what I do is I actually just blaze through this section, so I'm going to do it right here. I don't think there's anyone left. And that's it. That's all there is for Chapter 12. Like I said, it's a fast chapter. Chapters 13 and 14 are actually a bit longer. But anyway, so back to my story. You know, this guy, he commented and said, Nick, I love the series. I love what you're doing, but you're complaining a bit too much. You know, we get it. The mechanics aren't perfect, but hearing you complain about it over and over again, that's not going to solve anything.
Head up to the monastery and see what's going on.
And granted, he said it in a nicer way. I'm just summarizing. But he said it very politely. And I really appreciated it, because that's something I talk about a lot. You know, if I'm doing something in a video that a lot of people don't like, or that you think is annoying, even if it's just you, even if it's just one person, leaving a comment like that, a helpful comment, actual constructive criticism, that is infinitely better than just giving the video a thumbs down. You know, had this user given me a thumbs down, what am I supposed to do with that information? I can't improve whatever it is they didn't like if I don't know what it is that they didn't like. So by leaving a comment like that, I'm able to learn, you know, and as you guys know, I love to learn. So there's a treasure right here. There you go. That's the golden turtle. Looks like we'll get ourselves another trophy for our efforts. Advanced Fortune Hunter. But anyway, so yeah, you know, this user, they did exactly what I would have hoped. They had a problem with the video, and it wasn't a big problem. They even said that it's not a big deal, but they just wanted to give their honest opinion. But the point is, they had a problem. They shared it politely, and I learned from it.
Slow down.
And I
One of Eddie's goons
just,
could be up ahead.
you have no idea how much I appreciate that.
Come on, we left those clowns in the dust ages ago. Oh my god! That's disgusting. Oh, I wish I had my camera. So what? The Spanish booby trapped the island to protect their gold?
This wasn't made by the Spanish. Take a closer look at the spikes.
You have got to be kidding me.
This is from our plane.
Wait, that doesn't make any sense, though. Why would someone set traps like this when their own men are crawling all over the island?
They wouldn't. Something's been here since a trap was sprung.
Something or someone? Do you think that...
Shh. Do you hear that?
Hear what?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. We're being watched.
Watched?
Yeah, you know what? It's probably nothing. Let's just get out of here before we run into whatever's been chewing on this guy.
Okay.
Alright, so some weird things are happening. Traps are set up all over the island for what? Who are they trying to hurt? We shall figure that out in due time. Anyway, back to my story, and actually, oh crap.
Oh, God.
Okay, I gotta be careful here because the enemies will actually have a new weapon type, and I was looking for a treasure because I think there's a treasure somewhere around here. But you're gonna see here, you're given this new command to roll, and that's because right here you can see we're given a new weapon, the Desert 5, and this is a very powerful handgun. Not as strong as, I don't think it's as strong as the Magnum, but it's still very powerful. You don't want to, you know, yeah, so, oh, I shouldn't have and I'm still blind firing. You've got to be kidding me. There's no way. I'm so frustrated that I've died this many times. Like I said, it's just, for me, it's more of a pride thing. Like, I've played this game so many times, I honestly thought I'd be able to get through it. There's no way you're still up. There's no way. I don't know what's going on right now. The difficulty just seems like it's spiked out of nowhere. Like, I shot that guy so many times. Oh, and then he goes down in 2 shots. That's wonderful. Alright, so... Alright, so kill those 2. Now wait for these guys. I forgot that I had... How are you still up? I'm shooting at you with the strongest assault rifle in the game. Okay, oh geez, there's another guy. Okay, so yeah, anyway, whenever you see these red targets, the red laser sights, you just gotta roll out of the way. In fact, believe it or not, those guys are actually easier to take care of than regular guys because they give away their position with the red laser sights. Now here, there's, as my game is telling me, there's a treasure, but I don't know if it's here or if it's further up. I don't want to miss it. I'm looking for a staircase, so here's another one, but I think it's that one up there. Either way, I'll know for sure, because I know that once I go to a certain point, there's no turning back, so as long as I don't go that far. Okay, none of this is looking familiar to me. Or at least not to the walkthrough that I have up next to me. Okay, I passed it. Dang it. Alright, I gotta find it. Okay, so I found the treasure. Just for a bit of reference, this is the first staircase that we went up right before fighting that group of enemies. Right at the checkpoint. The treasure was right down here. Again, the walkthrough that I'm using, I wasn't really able to find a good one online. I finally found one that has pictures, but even the pictures, they're not very good. Like, I think when it comes to Uncharted, the best way to make a collectibles walkthrough is with... okay, so here's a new type of pistol. I'm actually going to skip it, though, because I'm going to want to take the Desert 5 and start working towards... So here's that new pistol. There should be a Desert 5 somewhere. I think that guy has one. Yes, he does. Okay, so the Desert 5 is just a bit stronger, and again, I want to work my way towards that trophy first, since that's the rarer weapon to come across, is the Desert 5. Anyway, what was I saying before I move on? Yeah, you know, I think it's a tendency of mine when I'm playing games, especially when you're recording, you want things to go perfectly. So when things don't go perfectly, you do get frustrated, and I get frustrated, and it just happens. That's just part of it. But nevertheless, you know, I heard what this guy said about how I was complaining too much and that it wasn't very fun to listen to, and you know, again, being in my position, I didn't really... There's no way you saw me. There's no way you could have seen me. That's so ridiculous. Anyway, you know, there are certain things that, as the one who runs this channel, there are certain things that you don't really realize unless someone else... You know, unless someone else kind of brings them to your attention. Are you serious? Wow, that was the worst lag in the world. Okay, got him. Got everyone, though. Anyway, you know, as I was saying, there's certain things that I do notice, but then there's also certain things that I just don't really notice. So, on the one hand, you know, I didn't really notice how much I was complaining. That it just kind of you know, it just kind of comes out of you in the heat of the moment. You don't really pay much attention to it. So it just kind of skipped over me. But once I was made aware of the fact that I was doing that,
I've got a bad
I was
feeling
really
about this
appreciative
place.
because I thought, oh wow, you know, that's something I wouldn't have really.
Let's just find Sullivan and get the hell out of here.
That's something I really wouldn't have taken into account unless you had just told me. So I actually really appreciate that. And you know, on the other end of things, there are certain things that I do notice that I do want to change. So for example, you guys may have noticed in this commentary for this series, except for like the first video, because I think I didn't really step back and realize this until after the first video. But alright, so right here I'm kind of just staying still for a moment. We just got ambushed, and this is a pretty big fight that's going down. So, and I don't know why my game is like freezing a bit. Okay, so these guys are trying to sneak up on me. I'm gonna punish. I do not know what's going on with my game right now. It's really having troubles keeping up. Oh, you sneaky man. I'm gonna headshot you. Alright, so anyway, like I said, we're getting ambushed here. It's kind of a tricky spot. That guy's gonna get killed by his own teammate's grenade. Alright, so this guy has a red laser sight. I don't think that's, yeah, that wasn't enough to... Get down, Drake! I gotta get a weapon. Before that guy... Oh, jeez, that was close. Okay, I gotta get the right angle here. Alright, as soon as I... Okay. So... Good. This is a fight that's really hard on Brutal. This is one of the toughest fights in the game on Brutal difficulty. Not the toughest, mind you, but still pretty dang tough. But anyway, as I was saying, you know, there are just certain things that I do notice, and there are certain things that I don't notice. And one of the things that I did notice was in my Evil Within walkthrough, I was cussing a lot, more than I ever do, because like I said, I don't really cuss in real life. Like when I'm just talking to friends, I really don't cuss a lot. It's not until I sit down and play video games that I really start getting frustrated. Here's a new type of shotgun, so I'm gonna pick this up. But so anyway, that was a big motivation moving forward with this series, was I wanted to make the commentary more family friendly. And you know, that's for a number of reasons. I think a lot of channels, they try to be family friendly for the sake of monetizing their videos. Like they want to get as much money as they can. For me, being a small channel, that's, you know, that really has nothing to do with it. For me, you know, for me it was more of just a personal thing. All right, so there's gonna be a guy in here. He always tries to sneak up on you, so just be ready for that. And once he's dead, that should be everyone. So we're actually pretty much good to go from here. So what you're gonna want to do is jump over here, and I'll show you exactly what you need to do. There is one more treasure in the area. I'll show you where that is. But anyway, so that was just kind of a goal of mine, was I wanted to make the commentary more family friendly. And like, I have little cousins that like watching these types of videos and things like that. So that's really just along the lines of what I was thinking. Was I know that when I was a kid, if I were a kid, if I were watching a YouTube channel, when I was a kid, YouTube wasn't a thing. But I know that when I was a kid, if YouTube had been a thing, and if I had found some guy that I really enjoyed watching, if my mom came in and heard him cussing, I would never be allowed to watch him again, and I would have been really sad, you know. So that's kind of the motivation there, is, you know, by keeping the commentary family friendly, you allow everyone to have fun watching it. And I think that's a really important part of YouTube, and I think that's a really important part of video games, is the fact that everyone can kind of chime in and have fun with it. So yeah, anyway, the point of the story was, to the person who left that comment telling me that I was complaining a lot, that was really good. And you know, there may come times where someone has a problem with my video, and I just don't agree with them. I'll say, oh, okay, well, thank you for your input, but I don't agree with that. So
I'll hold that while you brace
I'm
the
not
gate
going to
open.
change anything. You know, that's a completely valid response, but in this case, what this guy was saying I actually did agree with, and so I really appreciated,
Okay, let it go.
you know, I really appreciated having that input. All right. So now let's move on to the next fight. This is a big fight, and one of the funny things is I'm actually going to grab a treasure first. I think it's over here. Okay, so it's really not a smart idea to go for that treasure, but I just kind of figured, why not? You could see I'm getting... These guys are already aiming at me. This is a tough fight, and one of the funniest things about this game is this is actually a fight that you don't have to do, which I know sounds crazy, but it's true. Alright, so first let's get rid of the sniper. Now let's utilize this shotgun a bit, because these guys are getting a bit too antsy. Look at that guy. Who does he think he is? Trying to sneak up on me like that. That should have been a headshot. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, that was a really good blind fire. Okay, so the problem with this... Drake, no! Drake, you're gonna get me killed! Drake! Oh my gosh, he's gonna get me killed. Drake is going to get me killed right now because he's not... I cannot believe I just survived that. Out of all the times I've played this game, I've never had something like that happen. He just started spazzing out. That was insane. Anyway, there's a bit more... Oh my gosh, that was really close to my head. Where is this guy? Okay, so here comes... God, I really don't care for the sniper rifle in this game. It's a very poorly done weapon. It's hard to aim. It zooms in too far. It's just, it's not very good. Alright, so there's a... Oh, you... God. Okay, I'm gonna have to ditch the sniper, because there's a guy with a shotgun running around. I don't know where he... There he is. Oh. Okay, there's one more guy down there. Where did he go? See, this map is hard to work with because there are so many little crevices. But hey, there we go. We got through the fight first try. So anyway, yeah, the funny thing about this fight is, believe it or not, you actually don't have to do it. You can, I'll do this on crushing. I'll do this on my second playthrough of the game. You can actually just run past the entire fight. It's pretty funny, but unfortunately for us, there are actually a couple treasures here that we have to get before we move on, and so that's why I had to do this fight. So I already got one of the treasures. The second one is going to be over in this corner here, and then the third one is going to be somewhere nearby. I think as long as I stay against this wall, I think it's over in this back corner. You probably have noticed by now that the treasures, they glow, or not glow, but they shine off in the distance, and I think the last treasure is back in this little corner somewhere. So you just got to keep your eye out for that little glimmer. I'm pretty sure it's back here. Yeah, here we go. So there you go. That's 40 treasures. That's basically 2/3 of them. And there's one more treasure in this level. And there's another trophy, Professional Fortune Hunter. Now anyway, we're going to now go up these stairs, and I'll show you where you actually need to go. We're going to go into a library. There's going to be a cutscene. And then we're going to finish up Chapter 13. There's one more treasure. And then we'll move on to Chapter 14, which is also kind of long, but not as long.
In this little bar in the Philippines. Oh man, she had a smile that'd melt your heart. Bro, I swear to God, she just as soon kill you as kiss you if she caught you stepping out. Just a wee bit of a thing. She couldn't have been much more than 4'11". They called her the spinner because
Will you shut up, old man? You told us that one a dozen times already.
Oh, yeah, right. Of course I did. Memory's not what it used to be.
What the hell's taking you so long anyway?
Well, maybe you hadn't noticed, but most of these books are half rotten. And written in Spanish.
Yeah, well, hurry it up. The boss is waiting on you. Hey! Up there!
Ah, crap.
Alright, so unfortunately, Drake is not the stealthiest of treasure hunters. So right off the bat, you're going to be thrown into kind of a tough situation. I'm going to toss a couple grenades down here and see if I can get any lucky breaks. One helpful thing here is to just shoot really quickly. Like, don't take a lot of time shooting. Just like watch what I do here. Notice how I'm just kind of rapid firing. There's one more guy over here that I want to get rid of. Wow, that guy took a lot of shots. And this guy's gonna be annoying. Can you just, like, come out and let me shoot you? Is that an option? Okay, so... Oh, looks like there's another guy. Let's take him out with a good old M4. And voila.
Oh, man. It's about time you showed up.
Well, you're looking awfully good for a corpse.
So you brought the girl after all, huh?
The girl?
Hey, if it wasn't for her, you wouldn't be getting rescued right now.
If this is a rescue.
What the hell does that mean?
You gotta admit, Sully, this all looks a little shady.
Yeah.
I mean, you tipping those guys off?
And miraculously showing up alive?
Now wait a goddamn minute. Roman had a contract out on me. I needed to buy some time. All right, stupid mistake. I didn't realize they'd try and track us.
Sully, we would have been headed home with the treasure by now if you had just for once kept your mouth shut.
And you might have thought of checking for a pulse before running off and leaving me for dead.
Yeah, there was a ton of guys shooting at
None of
me.
that
That was
matters
not
now.
going to happen.
All right, so how is it you're standing here breathing and all, huh?
You are not gonna believe this. Huh?
No way. Old Francis took a bullet for you.
Yeah.
I thought this kind of thing only happened in the movies.
Yeah, well, it still hurt like a son of a bitch, I'll tell you that.
I bet.
Anyway, once they realized I wasn't dead, I convinced Roman that they would never find the treasure without me. So I've been trying to mislead him ever since, waiting for you to show up.
Well, where are they now?
Well, they're chasing a little red herring I sent him on the other side of the monastery to get rid of him. Look, Drake had it all figured out. See, that's the symbol the Spanish used to mark their secret vaults. The treasure is hidden right here in this monastery. Find the symbol,
And we find the
vault.
vault.
We have everything we need, right here. All the clues to take us right to the treasure. We can do this, kid.
All right, you boys aren't gonna get all chummy and leave the girl behind again, are you?
Don't even think about it, Sully. She's got a mean right hook.
I'll keep that in mind.
Alright. So, once you gain control of Drake,
There's more to this room than meets the eye.
there's a puzzle to
Sure.
solve in here. Usually what I like to do is scavenge the area and just use this opportunity to get some ammo, because we are about to move into Chapter 14, which is, I think there's one fight in... I don't think Chapter 14 has a lot of combat, but nevertheless, why not, why not use this chance to stock up on some ammo? Now, once you're ready, you're going to come up here, and this is where the puzzle solving begins. So, first you'll look down here, and you'll see this compass. You got northeast, south, and then O. Which, I'll be honest, I don't really know what that means. I've played this game a ton of times, and I don't know what the O represents. Like, obviously it's a fill-in for west, but is that just what they marked on older compasses? I'm not really sure. Or not compasses, but, well, yeah, drawing, whatever. I've always wondered, and I never quite
Something
knew...
about these statues.
I never quite knew what that meant. But anyway, you could look right here and you could say, okay, so the saint is Matthew, and Matthew is pointing north. So we got to point the angel north. The eagle is John. John is pointing east, so you could say east for eagle. The goat, Luke is pointing south, so you could think goat, devil, south, I don't know. And then you could see the griffin or the lion-looking thing is named Mark, and Mark is pointing to the west, which you could see in the compass here. It says west, it says W, whereas, like I said, on the floor it says O. But anyway, let's not get lost in all that. Let's work on solving this puzzle. So the angel is pointing north. I guess you could remember it. The angel's pointing towards heaven. This is the... Wait. Okay, so this is the goat, which looks more like a cow here. So the goat represents the devil, is how we decided to remember it. So that guy's going to be pointing south. Now we come to the griffin. The griffin is the odd one out, pointing to the west, or in this case, O. And then last but not least, we have the eagle, east for eagle. So we're going to make this guy point to the east. And there you go. So, I don't know. It's always helpful to come up with little mnemonic devices like that to solve puzzles so that you don't have to keep referencing the guide. So, you know, east for eagle, angel points towards heaven, goat points towards hell. Just little, I don't know, little things that I always tell myself to solve the puzzle without having to, you know, reference over and over again. So the treasure's right here. That's treasure number 41. There are only 20 left to go. And we're almost done, guys.
You know,
so what you're going to do is you're going to
familiar.
come over here. You're going to turn these two things upside down. And that will open a secret passage here, I believe. Yeah, there we go. So I was ahead of the game.
Well, this looks promising. Here, let me see that.
Yeah.
Okay. You two sit tight. I'm gonna check things out.
Whoa, wait, no. You're not going out there alone.
Yeah, Roman's men are swarming all over this place.
Yeah, and one person will make a lot less noise than three. Come on, I'll be fine. And you guys will be safe here. They don't even know about this room.
Okay, take this with you. Leave it on channel 13. They don't use that one. And keep us posted.
All right, you got it. Close this thing back up.
Yeah.
Nate? Be careful.
Come on. I always am. Ah! I did not see that!
That part right there, that one little scene is like the epitome of Nathan Drake. Turning around saying,
Okay.
I'm always careful,
the dead.
and then hitting his head on the
Here we go.
on the thing. I always love that scene. Alright, so first treasure of the level, golden Inca vessel. Looks kind of cool. That is treasure number 42, ladies and gentlemen. So now we're going to make our way through these underground tunnels. There are 6 treasures in this level. Now, of course, there are 5, assuming my basic arithmetic is correct. Anyway, so I wanted to wrap up one little story I was telling about making my commentary more family-friendly. It's just kind of a personal choice, really. I just, you know, I really took a step back and thought, what kind of channel do I want to run? And I'd like it to be a family-friendly channel, even though, I mean, the first, so here's treasure number 2. You know, someone could easily say, like, well, hold on a second, Nick. You want to make family-friendly commentary, but you're playing a game like The Evil Within. That does not make a lick of sense. The Evil Within is one of the most, I don't know, graphic, bloody games of the 2010s. How could you possibly, you know, how those two things don't go together? And no, they don't. You know, if a little kid wanted to watch my video and their parents had a problem with me cussing, I'm pretty sure the parents would have a bigger problem with the game itself. You know, I understand that. But like I said, it's just it really comes down to a personal thing. It's just, that's kind of the style of commentary that I want to go for in a lot of ways, because that's the style of commentary that I do with my walkthroughs. You know, when I make a walkthrough, my commentary is very calm, relaxed, helpful. It's meant to be an aid. It's not meant to be some vulgar, albeit funny. That's just not what I go for. And so So those are kind of the mindsets I had in making that decision. I understand that the games I play are not family friendly, but you know, I'm okay with that. Now right here, there's going to be kind of a big fight in this room. You could stealth kill some of the enemies to start off, but to be honest, it's kind of just more trouble than it's worth. I think it's easier to just kind of fight them head on. Except you do got to be careful because they can kind of easily flank you in this room, like this guy over here. So you gotta kind of be vigilant. You could see at the end of this area there's this guy with the red laser sight, and as I was saying, the guys with the red laser sights, they're often the easiest ones to kill because they typically, I don't want to say always, but they typically won't rush you. And also, like I said, they give away their position because of the weapon they're using, so they're really not that challenging. Alright, so let's get behind this pillar here. A couple more guys just entered into the fight. You can see I'm really not even using my other weapons. I think as I make my way up, there's going to be a couple more enemies that spawn. I think there's a guy with a shotgun that spawns somewhere.
I see him.
Yeah, there he is. Uh-oh. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's really annoying. I just got through that whole fight for nothing. That's a bummer. I knew there was more enemies, but I thought there was only one. I didn't know there was another guy that spawned on the left with an assault rifle. Otherwise, had I known that, I would have obviously made him the priority, given his weapon. It's a bit more deadly. Okay, so let's redo this. That was stupid of me. That was my fault entirely. How are you still alive?
Here we go.
See, it feels very inconsistent right now. Like, some enemies are dying almost immediately, and other ones aren't. And you can make the argument that I might be getting certain headshots here and there, but I don't know. None of those shots really looked like headshots to me. Okay, so let's try this again, shall we? Let's be a bit more careful this time, though. Okay, so there we go. I got Drake. Oh my gosh, Drake. Drake! I feel like he's just asking to get killed. Alright, so you don't want any of these guys flanking you. I hope that doesn't hurt me. Good. Okay, so the guy with the shotgun, I'm not as worried about him. That was a very good headshot. Alright, now I do have to worry about this guy a bit more, because he's... Okay. And there we go. So I got a little nervous there, because that guy has a shotgun. So from far away, I wasn't worried about him, but then he started to get closer, and I did not like that. Alright, so first things first, after you clear out the room, there actually is treasure to pick up. It's right behind where you entered from. So right here in this little doorway in the floor, the treasure is right here. Silver snuff box. It's a good name for a treasure, I suppose. And now all I'm doing is making sure I know where the next treasure is. It looks like I gotta solve one more little puzzle before I can get to it. So I'm pretty good on ammo. I think that was the last combat encounter in this level. So for this puzzle here, it's very simple. Shoot the bell, turn around, and shoot the other bell. And assuming you do that quickly enough, as long as both bells are chiming at the same time, this hidden door will open, and you'll be able to carry on my wayward son.
We got all the clues, right?
And
You can do this, kid.
the next treasure
How the hell does he
is
think he's
right
gonna get that statue
below
out of here anyway?
here. Oh wait, we're not out of the woods yet though. I just remembered there actually is a little bit more fighting. So as we make our way into this room here, there he is, tried to sneak up on me. Just get an easy little headshot. You could see his buddy still in the room. Alright, I don't think that's it. I think there's still... I think there's still another guy somewhere that tries to, like, come through here. Okay, so there's 1 and 2, and I think that's it. I think it's only 4 guys. However, if I let my guard down, I'll probably pay the price, I'm sure. So let's, you know, let's be like a SWAT op. Yep, look at that. That is why you turn your corners, ladies and gentlemen. That is why you run these rooms like a SWAT officer. Alright, so there is a treasure in here somewhere. However, I don't remember where. I think it's in here, unless it's in the next room. So you come in here. Yeah, I don't think it's... I think it's in this room. Let me look real quick. It's before the combat encounter. So this room here with this floodlight, it's behind this little structure here. So there is Senior Fortune Hunter. Alright. So our next one is going to come after the next little cutscene. And we're actually pretty close. We're almost to the end here of chapter 14, I think. Like I said, it's really not it's not too difficult. It's not that long of a chapter anyway. So what you're gonna do is make your way into this cavern, and we're gonna do a bit of climbing. So the next treasure, I think it's on the side of that staircase there, but like I said, before we can get to it, we have to sit through another cutscene right here.
This is completely unacceptable.
What do you expect from me, Roman? My men are getting massacred.
I find it hard to believe that one man could wipe out your entire crew.
Ugh, it's not just Drake, god damn it! I'm telling you, this island is cursed.
Enough. Take your sorry mob and go.
Wait, you can't cut me loose. You owe me a share of the gold.
Your share, Eddie, was contingent upon you doing what I required. You assured me that Drake was captured and the island secure.
Oh, this is bullshit, Roman, and you know it!
We are done here, Mr. Roger.
Dai camo! Mattia Giallo! Cielan!
Remind me again why you employed that superstitious idiot.
You wanted someone cheap.
Well, you get what you pay for, I suppose. And what about you, Navarro? Are you worth what I'm paying you?
The vault's here. I'm sure of it. If Sullivan can be trusted...
Which he can't.
Look, he knows we'll kill him if he's lying.
Don't be stupid. He knows we'll kill him once we find the treasure. He has no incentive to tell the truth. Really, Navarro, sometimes I think you left your brains back in that slum where I found you.
I just need a little more time.
Chasing this treasure of yours is proving to be more trouble than it's probably worth.
I assure you, El Dorado is worth more than you can possibly imagine.
It had better be.
So anyway, one thing I didn't think to mention earlier in this video, but you might be asking yourself is, you know, one of the reasons that I died more in chapter 13, the enemies were different. First off, their weapons were stronger. Another thing was you could tell that they were actually like military, like they were dressed like paramilitary or something. They weren't, you know, because in the first half of the game we were fighting just these guys that were kind of dressed in like Hawaiian shirts and shorts. You know, they didn't really look like soldiers. They kind of looked like, you know, like Drake or like Eddie Raha. They didn't really look like the soldiers that we've been seeing now. And so you could probably imagine that the first half of the game, those soldiers we were fighting, those were Eddie's men, whereas the soldiers we're fighting now, those are Roman's men, the trained soldiers that he brought with him. And so that's just a little bit of, I don't know, information for you if you were wondering. Now right here, as soon as you go through the door, that will bring about the start of Chapter 15 on the Trail of the Treasure. So this is the perfect spot to end the video. So once again, in this video, we beat 3 chapters, chapters 12, 13, and 14. And we'll just keep on keeping on. So we're getting to the point where the story's about to kind of get a bit more involved, so I hope you guys are excited. As always, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know what you thought of the video, of the gameplay, of the story, anything and everything in between. But yeah, this is where we're going to wrap up part 5. Again, I want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video.